Busy people and lots of yellies, Worcester hipsters and fed up townies. We have more than pizza in common, with two rocks for bookends. New Haven, New Haven, New Haven, between two rocks.
Welcome back to the Between Two Rocks podcast. This is Josh Levinson. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is episode 19. I can't believe we've made it. Thank you so much. We have a very special episode, in part because my usual co-host, Colin Ryan, is out celebrating Father's Day, like the maniacal father he is. So happy Father's Day, Colin. And the co-host I got to replace was too busy giving somebody a ride to JFK, so I'm flying solo today. But luckily, I have a ton of guests who have made up for the lack of co-hosts, which is very exciting. So this week we have I actually meant to promote something, but I'll do it at the end, so it's fine. This week we have the Masked Maniax with an X, and there are like 4 of them. So I'm severely outnumbered, but I think they seem really nice, even though they're wearing a lot of black. So they are Sabir, Phil, is that right?
Yep.
And Mark?
Yep.
And Anonymous. I don't want to blow up Anonymous's name. You know, he wished to remain. And they are the Masked Maniacs. You've probably seen them around town wearing lots of black, wearing masks, blasting cool beats as they ride bikes around the city and protect us from terrible, terrible drivers. So yeah, welcome, guys. Welcome, Sabir.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Phil, hello.
Good to be here.
Yeah, Mark.
Than't you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Anonymous, you're going to, I don't know, stay off for now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I feel like most people will have recognized you by now. I see you've like grown as a gang. Like this is,
Yeah.
It used to be just you, right, Samir?
Mm-hmm. And then we kind of tacked on one for every year we've been around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your ideal growth scenario? 1 per year?
It was. Now I feel like we need to do much more.
Okay.
I mean, stuff is getting crazier.
Yeah. What do you mean stuff is getting crazier?
I know this year we've emphasized specifically on traffic patrol and cop watch this year.
Okay.
Given all of the rise in videotape police brutality now hitting our doorstep in New Haven again.
Yeah.
And just the different pedestrians and cyclist accidents we've had. We had a 10-year-old get hit on a hit and run in the hill on Wednesday, and then we had a 17-year-old get hit in the hill again on Friday. So this stuff is like still happening. We have motorcycles and dirt bikes burning through red lights, hitting cars.
Yeah.
Yale students getting hit on not Chaplain High, Elman High Street. So it's like, you know.
I was going to ask what your opinion is on the whole dirt bike situation, because I had somebody write an article recently which ended up being highly inflammatory because there's been a lot of different strong opinions about this kind of thing, you know? And so I was curious what you think.
My position on dirt bike is very similar with my position on cycling, particularly on the sidewalk and kids cycling in groups in the street, which has been New Haven lacks the proper, or not even just New Haven, Connecticut lacks the proper recreational resources for dirt bikes and for bicycles.
Mm-hmm.
Edgewood Park is not enough. If you took all the kids that have bikes in New Haven, half of them couldn't even fit in Edgewood Park at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I understand people are concerned about how they go about using their vehicles in the street, which is fair.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you can't blame them because you're not providing them an outlet. And it's not just a city issue. This is kind of a state issue.
Yeah.
And from state to state, especially in smaller states like Connecticut, I'm pretty sure this is also an issue.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with the dirt bikes. They're so loud, you know? I'm just trying to watch Netflix over here, you know? If you could just throw a muffler on that thing, I would really not care what you did. But no, it's been pretty interesting. There's a lot of kind of back and forth, and, you know, the guy who wrote the article was like an older white guy, and people were like, oh, you know, you went in a neighborhood and filmed people. It was wild. So if you ever want to see a flame war, by all means, check out my Facebook wall, because I, you know, regularly start conversations that end in 150 comment flame wars. So that's pretty good. That's cool. So how long have you been doing this?
5 years.
5 years.
July 1st, 2000 and I got hit by a car in 2014. So yeah.
Okay, so that's what inspired this whole thing, or
I kind of was doing it before. It was just an entertainment thing, and then it turned into a traffic patrol and cop watch thing because I started doing it as entertainment, and then even doing it as entertainment, I got pulled over by the police a lot for no reason. No 911 calls triggered it. Sometimes I got really inflammatory 911 calls just for like playing music. It was stuff like, oh my God, he has a gun. It's a bike lock. Oh my God, he has a bomb in his bag. I literally have bike tools in my bag just in case my bike breaks down.
Yeah.
So it's like different things like that triggered sort of the direction that the
but I mean, you're a black man with bike tools. In a way, isn't this your
but
fault?
You don't know that yet. That's the thing with the gear we have. And that was one of the interesting things that I noticed immediately when I first started was cops pulled me over like I was white because they didn't know that I was black.
Yeah,
because all the body armor at night. As far as you know, I could be putting whatchamacallit, I could be putting makeup on my face like Batman over my eyes, so you don't know that I'm white.
Yeah.
But when cops pulled me over, they gave me the very generic, "Hi, my name is Officer So and So.
Yeah.
I'm pulling you over for XYZ reason. Is it okay if I search you?"
Yeah.
That was like the initial that I was getting. But if I'm like riding around, I got the body armor on, took my helmet off, took my mask off.
Now you're back to just being a regular old black American.
Or if they know who I am already because they know my dad's a police officer, so by association they know I'm black. Oh yeah, I still get the heat.
Interesting.
So
yeah,
and when they find out your last name.
Yeah, that's usually what does it. But
right, because your dad is a police officer. Is he retired?
He retired. He retired.
Okay. And he wrote a whole book
year.
about how black men in America should deal with the police.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that? Do you feel?
I agree and disagree with it. I'm really big on civil disobedience.
Yeah.
In some regards.
Yeah, that seems right because it's like to some extent it's like you want to basically like reduce the possible harm that will cause to yourself, but also why should you fucking have to, right? Like it just sucks that you have to like bend over backwards,
especially in your hometown or any town in which that's where your 9 to 5 is.
Yeah,
like ultimately you should not be trying to follow you should not be have to follow a book to stay alive when dealing with police in the town you live in or in the city that you work
especially in a diverse
every
place
day.
like New Haven. Like you would think people would be used to like seeing people of color. Like it's not like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Not to like give fucking Milford a pass, but like I expect a little more racism out of them, I guess. Like I don't know. Like, whoa, there's a black kid riding a bike. We should call the cops. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. In New Haven it just seems crazy that, we still run into these problems. So
it's really sad.
Yeah, absolutely. So is it like weird? Because I know one of the things you've been kind of focused on is, police brutality and kind of like watching police. And certainly like, I mean, with the whole situation in Hamden that happened recently, police like killed an unarmed person and
they didn't kill him. They shot. They didn't.
Shot him. Sorry.
They didn't kill. Thank God.
Thank God. Right. So
that was Wethersfield.
Okay. So like, is it hard though, like knowing because your dad's a cop? So like, I know like cop families sometimes are like really tight, and it's like it's got to be a weird position for you to be like critical of the police, but also like come from kind of a, you know what I mean?
Well, I've always held the position of, I think the police department system is broken first and foremost. So, but I've always respected individuals who just so happen to be police officers. Yeah. Not just because you're a police officer, you get my respect by default. If I know you as a person, you're a good person with good moral standing, that you have a lot of respect for the community, and then you're also a police officer, and that's the way you make your living and also make your difference. I respect you for that because usually those officers are not the bad apples.
Right.
As far as the department in general, they got a lot of work they have to do to get to where they need to be. So those conversations aren't as hard as you think. I mean, everybody. I like to think that in my family, everybody's to an extent entitled to their own opinion. Until
like, has your dad ever like took you inside and be like, "Dude, come on, man, come on, Sabir."
I mean, he's been trying to get me to be a cop for the longest time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. we don't get paid to do this.
Yeah.
We patrol. This
isn't a high paying gig, being a Masked Maniax.
Well, we have day jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's very emotionally rewarding.
Can you come up on that mic a little bit? Yeah.
I felt. We love doing this. It's very emotionally rewarding. And the fact that we're making a difference, the fact that we're inspiring people, and the fact that, we're getting opportunities like this to really make our voices heard, that's honestly payment enough.
So so Phil and Mark, how did you get involved? Like, how do you get recruited into this vigilante gang? I know I probably shouldn't call you that because you're not actually,
Technically, we're a bike gang. We are a gang. We're a gang of people on bikes. Bike gang.
Nice. That's good. Yeah.
I'll be careful.
Got
with the terminology, though.
matching. Got matching colors.
Yeah.
You know.
We just need a leather jacket with matching insignias on it. Anyway,
Yeah.
but Sabir and I we go pretty far back. First, we worked for the same not-for-profit.
Okay.
Back in high school. That's how we met. Sabir's been an activist for most of his life since he was 12, I think. Just about 12. And similarly, I've been into activism since I started high school when I was 13. So Sabir and I have had similar goals. So
you guys are way like more inspiring. I was just really into like pot. And I feel like Busch Light was kind of my thing in high school.
I mean, Sabir'd be into that too, but he has asthma.
Yeah,
believe it or not.
Also, I grew up in like a small town, so there's just like there was no obvious way to get involved. Like the only thing going around was like the Rotary Club to like I don't know, raise funds for whatever stupid thing they were working on. So, but anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no worries. So the way I got into Masked Maniax was through a mutual friend who introduced us, basically, who also worked for that organization. So we became friends.
What was your organization? Do you mind?
It's called Teach Our Children and Youth Unleashed. So it was for education reform.
Unleashed. This sounds dangerous. Shouldn't we keep them on leashes?
Well, unleashed, capital ED at the end
capital
for
ED
education.
for ed. Clever.
That is clever.
But
not bad.
Yeah. So Sabir and I have always been pretty active in that way. But we became friends through a mutual friend. And then I was going through a rough part of my life, and I really learned about Sabir's character because I learned to ride a bike at 18.
Okay.
So I'd just become newly homeless November of 2015. And Sabir got word of it, and he said, "No, you're not sleeping outside. Here's a bike you could borrow. We're biking to my place. You don't know how to ride a bike. I'll teach you along on the way."
Wow.
So that's how I learned to ride a bike, trial by fire. I think it was about like 4 miles to his apartment there. But
okay.
He said, just kick, push, don't be embarrassed. And after learning how to ride a bike, I picked up pretty quick. I like learning things.
Yeah, it's like riding a bike. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it comes back like riding a bike. It's bad.
Like I can see myself. It's like I do that on stage sometimes. I'm like I can see him saying something stupid, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
But yeah. So basically, either die or make your way to my apartment. Good luck.
Yeah,
no,
that's fair.
But,
I mean, I feel like homelessness is an immediate death, but yeah.
I hit a telephone pole on the way.
Really?
Yes,
But I didn't want to hit my pretty face, so I turned that way and hit my sternum.
Nice. You do have a very nice face. I mean, I don't know. Are you single,
Look who's
ladies?
talking.
I don't know. Hey, all right.
Look
Thanks.
who's talking. But yeah. So after staying with him for a little while and doing some similar, I guess, quote unquote, vigilante work at my own college campus at Central Connecticut State University, which is very dangerous.
I did hear Essential. I make it sound like prison, but
yeah, right.
I mean, New Britain is sort of a prison. For,
Hard hitting New Britain.
That's right.
Yeah, right by Homicide
Hey
Hartford.
man, you can't beat the rent up there, New Britain.
True,
You know? People
that is
like
very
to talk
true.
shit, but I mean, I had a huge apartment for a very reasonable price. So
Yeah,
you know.
But eventually, Sabir recruited me into his own company. So we're having like a real Tony Stark here. He had his own company. He had his own superhero group, I guess. And he does a lot, man. I'm surprised he even can stand. But after working with him for a little bit, he brought me into the Masked Maniax, donned me a suit, and we rode out together.
So is there like an initiation? Like, did you have to do any,
Nah, because
sort of reverse gang initiation?
Nah.
Where you just to stop a driver from hitting somebody?
Because
or something?
really, when you're out there, you kind of forget that you're wearing the armor. You remember the mask, of course, but you forget that you're wearing the armor because it's all about the community. It's all about, and the moment I realized, what I was doing is when I was flying down Dixwell Avenue on the way to a meeting. I was supposed to meet Sabir in the armor and the mask, and this little boy who was black, he just marveled at me. And like the look in his eye was unforgettable. And that's when I realized, the black armor and the mask, that usually, people would be scared about that initially, right? But the goal is to show that the color black isn't just the absence of light or something scary.
Yeah.
It's the combination of every vivid color you can imagine put into one. It's to show that black could be the hero's color too.
Wow.
Not just Batman.
It's very inspiring. And Black Panther. I don't know if you
And Black Panther.
Yeah.
Hey, Wakanda forever.
That's right. Yeah.
But that's how I joined back in 2016. So I've been with this for almost 3 years now.
All right. How about you, Phil?
It's my story's not so glamorous, but I've been
Glamorous. The glitz and
Yes.
glamour of
Mark was-
sudden homelessness.
I mean, he's waxing poetic over here, but I think
Well, I
really
think it's interesting
got all the-
because I mean, if people may want to get involved and they might want to understand like the different paths, and not every story has to be the same.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for like almost 2 years. So I just had, I got my first bike. It was laying on the ground for a couple of days, so I took it.
I'm confused by what that means. You
It
just
was
found
laying-
a bike.
I just found a bike.
You found a bike. You
Yeah.
stole a bike. Is what
I
I'm
mean,
hearing.
yes, I stole a bike. But you know,
he
it's
found
an
a sword in a stone.
It's an East
That's
Rock
what
bike. So the East Rock bikes, they lay on the ground for a couple days and then you take them.
Yeah.
It's like he found a sword in a
It's like
stone.
a reverse
you know?
5-minute rule type situation.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I got you.
I've got 3 bikes doing that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
2
you
of them
just
were
steal
decent.
bikes. Is
Yes.
really what's going on. Oh, so this
Yeah.
really is a bike gang. I get it. Interesting.
No, 2 of them had notes on them saying, you can take it if you want to.
Oh.
The other one was there for a few days. So I got my first bike. I was riding it around. I would always see Sabir. I didn't really know what he was. I honestly couldn't tell because he just flies by. He has the really loud music playing. He used to have this gray boombox that I thought was a gun case for a while.
Wow. Like a real full story.
So that's
full
doing the
circle.
911 call.
How many times did you call the cops on Sabir specifically, would you say?
1, 2, I don't know, man. More than 5.
Lost count, man.
Wow. Speed dial. You always hit 9-1 and then you write out and you're like, all right, let's see if I see him.
But I would always see him around, and I really wanted to know who it was, so I would Google Masked Man New Haven, Mask Guy New Haven, Frankenstein Mask New Haven. I had no idea.
Frankenstein's monster, actually.
So it's like more of like a Mike Myers. I don't know. Yeah.
That's the drunk people search engine optimization. That's what that is.
All right. How do you SEO for that? That's
what I think about that is that's when we ride around downtown and people who are drunk see us.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
fun.
they go home and they wake up and be like, I saw that thing last night. I don't know what it is. And they Google it and then we pop up. Like, oh, I did see that.
Nice.
But
Yeah. Anyway, I hit Sabir up on Facebook finally. I asked, please, can you teach me how to do the thing where
Oh, why
and then he brought me to his office.
Wait, what thing did you
The
want to
thing,
know how to do? Hold a
I didn't
boombox?
really know
Like,
what
is
he was.
the-
I don't know what he's doing.
You just knew you wanted to be involved. Whatever
Yes.
it was.
Yes, yeah. I
Interesting.
had absolutely no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
I just see him going down the street. So he invited me to the office. We had pizza and played Xbox games, and then he said, "I'll teach you next time." So I came over
This
next
sounds like
time.
a pretty fun gang initiation.
Yeah,
I
it was
gotta say.
great.
More gang initiation should involve Xbox. I think. Just would really. We need less bloodshed and more. I mean,
Virtual
video. Yeah, absolutely. If you really want to get into Mortal Kombat style, I think it's fine.
Call of Duty
Call of Duty.
is our go-to game.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Interesting. And yet here you are out fighting the good fight, and so violence and
Yeah.
video games causes activism. It turns out. So,
Oh.
so that's how you got involved. What about you, Anonymous? Do you want to share a story, or do you want to keep it to yourself?
Unless you want me to share it for you. I will let you share it. Okay. So, what happened was I was
Be careful not to use his name.
I had finished. I was at UConn for a year. Well, 3 semesters. And I came home because money ran out, like most people my age. And I ended up before I left, I was actually teaching. I started an after school program in high school. I continued teaching it when I got back from college. And I was teaching at Wilson Library over in the Hill. One day when I left, because this is when I first started wearing the mask. One day when I left, I saw Anonymous.
Were you wearing the mask while you were teaching?
Yeah. So there was a funny thing. The idea of the
Because I
mask.
can see how people will be a little put off by that.
One of the ideas of the mask, actually initially before it actually became a thing, it was a part of a photo shoot with the after school program because I was teaching photography and art. And I was teaching them how to use like Photoshop and things like that and how to manipulate pictures. And one of the projects we did was they wanted to do like Jabberwocky. So we ordered Jabberwocky masks. We bought the boombox and we're like, okay, we're going to go downtown and film, get some guys that do parkour, have them wear masks, flip out, videotape people's reaction, videotape what they're doing, and take pictures.
How old are these kids?
They had to be like 15, 16.
Okay, so right, they'd be
Yeah.
more into like, because I'm like imagining a bunch of like younger kids. I'm like, this is weird, like parkour. Like I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Yeah, I think they're teenagers. That makes more sense.
But yeah, I was leaving Wilson, and I was like, why is there a guy riding around with the same mask as me? He was just lapping in the hill, and I'm just like, I'm gonna chase him down.
Nice.
Chase them down.
I would have had the total opposite reaction. Like, oh, there's a guy in a mask riding around. I'm going to flee as quickly as he.
Well, I had my own too, so I'm just like,
yeah, you can't really judge.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna chase him down, and then eventually, we started riding together, and then eventually he joined.
So he basically just joined by getting a mask. Be like, yeah, I'm in the gang. You might not know it yet, but I'm pretty much in. Like, I can do what you do.
I will say how everybody starts.
Mhm.
You can tell by how everybody rides. So like, some of us will race more than others.
Okay. Okay.
We'll race each other.
And Anonymous is fast.
Yes.
Believe me.
Okay.
Yeah, last night.
Interesting.
Yep. He has experience in riding his bike in New York.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
something that I lack.
That's trial by fire.
Okay. Yeah.
New
No,
York.
they don't mess around over there.
Yeah, premium rush.
You got to deal with the taxis, etc. So, do you like? So you got like this body armor. Do you have to like buy your own body armor to join the gang? Like, how does that work?
We used to. Well, when we first started, I kind of was buying all of it, and then everybody was like, it's like Mark did his own thing where he was doing stuff outside of Masked Maniax before he joined, so we already had some armor on hand. And then recently, we started to get more organized and start to sort of create a fund for the organization so that we can be able to just get our own stuff, keep up with bikes and everything. And
Yeah.
You actually develop it at a certain age. It just kind of grows in,
The armor.
Yeah. You
It's
get
like an exoskeleton.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
I mean, the other big thing is too, like Mark brought it up. It's literally not an exaggeration. Like we try to network our resources that we have to make the organization run. So between the marketing company that I run, it helps get the word out about Masked Maniax. It helps allow us to cover as much ground as we have, getting interviewed by TV stations in Germany, interviewed by the New York Post. It goes a long way that way. We're starting, Anonymous and I are starting a mobile bike shop soon called Bicycle Recyclist LLC.
And for a second, when you said Anonymous, I was like, wait, 4chan Anonymous? I was like, no, the guy here. I was like, oh, boy, don't get involved with those guys.
Yeah, don't
like,
give that away, Sabir.
So we'll be starting.
So they're a real mixed bag.
So we'll be starting a bike shop that's very similar to a AAA service for a lot of cyclists during the on season for cycling.
Oh, cool.
So like if you have a flat, just lock your bike up, give us a buzz, and we show up and fix the flat and drop the bike off to your house.
Nice. I got a flat in West Haven, and I just ended up taking the bus home. So I do appreciate those nice racks on the front. That was nice.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
sometimes those are full because biking in New Haven is getting popular.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
getting very popular, especially as the bus fares go up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, the bus is still not that popular, so I get it's like those two racks in the front,
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
They need more than two.
Yeah.
I agree, but I don't know logistically how it's going to work. So do the suits get smelly?
Yes, that's a thing. We're
Philip,
working
come
on
here. Let me check.
we're working on optimizing that. That's like we don't have a cooling system yet for that.
Yeah, I was gonna
so.
say, like, it's gotten to be, like,
You get-
it was pretty
I mean,
humid,
You get pretty used to it. I mean, we would mainly do this during the summer when it's like hot out, like 80 degrees, and you actually it becomes conditioning, like training with weighted vests or training with weights. You get pretty conditioned to it, and you get used to higher and higher temperatures. So it's really, I mean, yeah, we do end up sweating if we go like too long, but we're out there like an hour or two plus. So you don't sweat that often after a while. Like you get pretty used to it, so it's not too smelly. Not.
I speak for yourself. I sweat so much. Anyway,
we've also recently established, because we're taking into account global warming and climate change. We've also recently established a sort of temperature cap for when we're going to be operating. So when we bike, it'll be we're counting in feels like too, because you have to take into the wind chill, all the stuff downtown
on a bike.
But when it feels like below -10 or above 95 degrees, our operations are going to start switching
it was
to
a pretty wide range.
being on
That's
foot.
virtually all.
Well, because
temperature.
it's only two particular seasons that we have to worry about.
Yeah.
Because the summertime when it hits like 110 or it feels like 130, and then the wintertime when it can potentially feel like -20, and they have to open up all the schools as warming shelters.
Yeah, this winter was the first winter where I was like, all right, I'm going to try to ride, because I commute via bike, and I was like, all right, I'm going to try to ride in winter, and I mean, I can definitely wear enough stuff to make it doable, but it can get pretty brutal. Like on a bike, it's like 10 degrees colder at least,
Well, that's also very, very dangerous.
I mean, also,
I don't mess with, like, if it's snowing or any ice, I don't mess with that.
Well, you also got to take into account the cars too, because if you have to, people testing out their snow tires on the first snowfall.
Drivers. So, all right, here's an interesting thing. So, how do you deal with drivers? Like, I know part of your mission is to sort of hold drivers accountable, or to kind of like, okay, how do you confront drivers? Because I see drivers do shit all the time, and I'm like, how like I get drivers just yell at me, and I'm like, what did I do? Just existing on the road on a bike, and they're just like, get out of the way. I'm like, dude, calm down. Like,
Go where?
Yeah,
because biking on the sidewalk is quote unquote
illegal,
illegal, and then if so,
I mean, it's not quote unquote. It's actually
it is illegal,
Yeah.
but it's
I
also
mean,
dangerous. Like it's it's
but are you
not.
gonna basically what a lot of people chance is, am I going to chance my life biking on the road legally with cars trying to kill me, or am I gonna risk a little bit of legality, which isn't really enforced, on the sidewalk and maybe bump into pedestrian, flip over, but I'm not going to die and they're not going to die. So it's a really tough, and a lot of the streets aren't really optimized for biking, and especially with the lack of management of potholes.
I would say very few really bikes are.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the
Very
other big deal is too the change in law and the lack of knowledge of the law change, and just people, like us as a society, picking and choosing what laws we're going to enforce and which ones we're not. So let's look at them people biking on the sidewalk. Biking on the sidewalk is illegal in the city of New Haven, but also biking in the street is legal in the entire state of Connecticut. People don't know either one.
Yeah.
And some people know one and not the other, which creates a total crazy level of confusion. So like people will say, oh, go to Elm Street, you only belong inside of the bike lane, but you're literally parking in the bike lane, which you're not supposed to do.
Right, people stop in the bike lane all the time. Also, how am I supposed to take a left turn? Like, I got to go up Whitney Ave. Like, that's a nightmare. Like,
what do you do when there's no bike lane? Pretend there's no bike lane there. Like, it's very
So how
difficult.
do you confront like a driver?
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
It depends on what it is.
Like, do you have like a sort of an outline for how, like, I mean, is there some sort of training that everybody like goes through? Or
we're working on one. We recently actually, what we found out very interestingly with the New York Post was we found out that there aren't more masked maniacs per se around the world, but we found out that there are other people that do similar work to the masked maniacs that have been established in groups back as far as the 1970s.
Yeah.
They're part of a larger movement called the Real Life Superhero Initiative.
Okay.
And then there's a smaller faction of them that we sort of work with to sort of create protocols like what you're talking about now, called the Justice Alliance Initiative, which is based up and down the East Coast and in the UK. They sort of give us some direction on how to deal with sort of the foot being on the ground, but when it comes to like pulling over cars, we kind of developed our own stuff. So some of the things that we do is, let's say, our personal favorite, people going the wrong way up one-way streets. People going down High Street, taking that left on the church, on the Chapel when there's that right on the Chapel when there's no right.
Yeah.
People coming down College from Prospect and them taking that right up Elm Street when there is no right up Elm Street.
Yeah.
Usually our protocol for that has been in the past to sort of shut the street down for and let the car do their U-turn, so that way there is no possible way of collision, or the car is not able to go up the street against traffic. But of course, like a lot of our protocols with dealing with situations like that, especially going against traffic, is that we literally have to throw ourselves as human shields, and we're just like, okay, we're gonna do this, and let's just hope.
Hence the armor.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I was to say. Is that what the body armor is for? I mean, that's not really gonna help that much. But
I mean, it's not gonna help that much, but also the body armor helps on a visual.
Yeah.
Visually, when cars see us, it's something different. It's one of those.
It's a psychological pattern.
Makes people.
If I hit you, you're gonna get back up. Oh, let me not do that.
Yeah. You're gonna be awake enough to sue.
I suddenly feel like a target. Like I'm just riding around with regular shorts and a t-shirt.
I mean, most people are in shock, which helps. Well, it helps. It helps. Sometimes it hurts, but usually it helps. It hurts sometimes because sometimes, like, even when I confront people, like I tell them, the mask is a protection ultimately for me from road rash on my face, or if I get a facial injury. It's not to protect my identity. My name's out there.
Yeah.
So if I confront a driver, my pulling my mask up is equivalent to you rolling your window down. So you won't roll your window down because I have my mask up. I take my mask up and we have a conversation. Don't do this. Don't do this. You almost hit me. You almost hit this person.
Yeah.
You almost hit this pole. Turn your lights on.
I usually just flick people off. That's my move.
I mean, that.
Like somebody like
that, when I first started, I'm not gonna lie, I was guilty of that.
Yeah, I was just like,
I think we all are.
Hit me, and then they're like, "Oh," I'm like, "Dude, use a signal. Like, if you're gonna turn, use like I don't."
It's like right there behind the steering wheel.
Oh boy,
I don't know, man.
I don't know if anybody's seen. They took out a sign over on College and Crown last night.
Ooh, what'd it say?
Over by the whatchamacallit, that restaurant on the corner of College and Crown. I think it was one of those stop at red signs.
Yeah.
They knocked it right out of the ground.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the new law, of course, is just run through the red light. That's
the
what
new
you're
law
meant to do.
is if you have 7 beers, it's fine. That's the rule, of course. Everybody knows that. It was Saturday night, so that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. So you're about policing cars, bicyclists. I mean, do you ever yell at bicyclists for going the wrong way down the road? Or
No, we just clothesline them.
you just
I mean-
clothesline 'em. Nice.
I mean,
Brutal.
cyclists is a little different story. Because even though they're state law says, okay, you have to follow by all automobile laws when you're on a bicycle on the road.
So do you really wait for red lights? Let's be honest here.
No.
Anonymous is going, yeah, me
Not
neither.
always.
It's just wild.
Not
I'm
always.
if there's nobody coming, I'm I feel like, and I know cars get mad at me for blowing red lights, but I'm also wouldn't you rather I'm not in the way and slowing you down?
Well, it's one of those
You know what I
things
mean?
where
Gotta use your judgment.
cyclists is,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a little different because the amount of damage a cyclist crashing could do and appearance to a crashing car is different.
Yeah.
For one. For two, people are more careful on bikes.
Yeah.
So even though
Right.
there are a lot of people that do cycle that do go through red lights,
Mm-hmm.
one, they're mindful of which red lights they go through.
Right.
And most people who are on
not
bikes
trying to
don't
get
go
hit.
through red lights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't burn through the red light on what's that street? Elm in York. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to die, that's up to you. But you
Yeah,
just don't
sure.
you just
of a
don't do
fatalist
that.
streak,
Now
yeah.
if you're coming down York and you want to bank ride on Elm, a little different. There's a bike lane right there on that right.
Yeah. Sure.
But everybody knows what they're doing.
Okay.
But usually with cyclists, I usually escort other cyclists that are riding. If a cyclist is riding on the right side of the right lane, first of all, I'm gonna be honest, that is an urban legend. Oh my God, you should ride on the right side of the right lane. It's the safest thing to do. That's literally how I got hit.
But then how do you make a left turn, like you mentioned earlier?
Right.
Yeah, no, yeah. Every day that I ride back, I go up Howe Street and then I take a left onto Elm.
Well, that's
and
where I got
so
hit.
As soon as I go onto Howe, I get on
small
the
world.
left. I get on the left side. I would rather just ride the left and take a left from the left than try to cross 2 lanes of Howe during rush hour.
Right.
Those,
Yeah,
cars
that's
aren't
where he got hit.
Yeah,
Really?
Small world, huh?
I got dragged from Mamoon's to Pete's house.
Damn.
My foot got
Dragged.
caught between the this is the only way I could set it up. Have you seen Star Wars Episode 1?
Yeah.
Okay. Remember when Anakin and Sebulba's pod racer get locked up?
Yeah.
My foot was on the pedal. It got caught between the space of the top of the front tire and the body of the car. And I was locked in trying to miss all the parked cars until I got to the end and bailed off.
Were you any permanent injury or?
I ended up getting a compound fracture to my left leg. I had my left leg was fractured 8 ways in the same spot.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is it all right now?
Everything's now. I biked to my follow up.
Okay.
A week later.
Fun. That's good. It's kind of a different kind of street cred. So what else? You about policing. You're also policing the police.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how do you do that?
A lot of the repeat offenders we had as of late, right there on High Street.
High and Elm.
Yeah, High and Elm.
High streets are
Parking in that bike line.
Oh, yeah.
Parking in the bike lane, just doing
Oh
certain
yeah,
nonsense around.
Yale gives no shits. Every
Yeah.
time I use that lane, there's just 5 Yale facility vehicles parked right in that bike lane.
We're talking about a different bike lane.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
The High Street bike lane.
Yeah, the contra.
So what happens is, this actually I didn't realize it was going back this far until I encountered the officer earlier a couple months ago. When you come down Elm Street and you bank that right on the High Street, because the lane is an opposing bike lane, New Haven PD has made a bad habit of parking their cop cars in that bike lane, both daytime and nighttime, particularly at nighttime, with no lights on, to try to use that as a speed trap.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that when you come down Elm, first of all, you have that huge brick wall bordering all of the residential property for the Yale dorms.
Yeah.
So that creates a blind spot for that turn. So when you bank that right and a cop is parked there with no lights on at all,
Right. It's dangerous.
then you're ending up on the hood of their windshield. And they're
Right.
doing it with their new fun black undercover
Oh, nice.
traffic patrol vehicle, which is annoying.
But
So
how do
we-
you deal with the cops? Because you're not in a position of power there. You know what I mean?
let's just say
That's an illusion, actually. There are certain Connecticut general statutes that do allow citizens arrest of police officers and other parties, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I mean that might well be the case, but in my experience, the person with the gun and the badge usually has all the power.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah.
I would love to live in a world where everybody's held accountable equally and laws are applied to everybody. But in my experiences, people with power often abuse it slightly. I mean, not that all cops are bad. I don't want to say that. You know,
but
what
the
I mean?
other thing,
all cops.
The other thing is too, and
just most cops.
And that's one of the things that I like about the four of us is that we have a very large variety of day jobs and side jobs.
Okay.
What
are all your day jobs? Let's talk about it.
I do HR for a company that manages custodians for New Haven Public School.
Okay, HR, interesting. I wouldn't have pegged you as that.
When I'm not doing that, I run a marketing company, and I will be teaching Arabic at a local mosque starting next Sunday.
Oh, cool.
And a bunch of other projects that I'm working on.
What is the name of your marketing company?
For Real Productions.
For Real, and where can we find that?
Online. forreal.productions.com.
Okay,
forreal.productions.
Yeah.
Like,
No
.com.
.com. It's no .com because apparently we're past .com. There's like .black, .com, .net and stuff. So
I bought a .us domain recently.
.us is.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I got a very common name, okay? Like, there's nothing I can do. JoshLevins.com is long.
It's also
long.
cheaper, though, too, right?
I can afford .com. It's not that. It's just the guy who owns it won't give it up. So
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
It's like finding usernames.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it's used up, it's used up.
But yeah.
Well,
That and our activism has also allowed us to have some pretty good connections above officers' pay grades to contact people to sort of push our message along.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, like Sabir's mentioned before, the police see Sabir and think that's a lot of paperwork. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
That's our number one training tool. Be a stack of paperwork they don't want to deal with.
That's right.
Exactly.
Use bureaucracy
I mean,
as your shield.
Yeah. I mean, we've had some cops that actually do appreciate what we're doing, and some cops that actually are quite friendly with us. They'll wave. They'll be like, yeah. One a while ago, unknowingly, I think, hopefully unknowingly, like threw up a certain gang sign at us, thinking he was being cool. But yeah,
that's a straight up fellow kid situation.
Yeah. How do you do, fellow
And
kids?
we've had to call the cops a couple of times. Don't get us
Yeah.
wrong. Like that's happened. I've been chased in the dark by pickup trucks while escorting somebody home.
Oh, God.
Had to call the cops. Me and the cop ended up becoming friends because he also bikes and tried to race me on his time off one time.
Okay.
Another cop has helped us recover bikes that we've had stolen from us.
Right.
In like less than 48 hours, which is kind of unheard of in New Haven.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like,
So the goal isn't like attack the cops. The goal isn't like we are against the cops. It's not against anyone or anything or any party. It's we're defending this group. And whoever happens to, be, putting that group in danger, be it cyclists, be it cars, be it like every now and then cops being dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So our goal isn't like to make an enemy out of a group, to have a supervillain, I guess.
Yeah.
It's
But if the supervillain, who would the supervillain
God
be?
forbid we have one.
But if you had
there are
one, who
real
would it be?
there are quote unquote, it's hilarious, real life supervillains, because Sabir mentioned earlier the overall group of real life superheroes internationally. There are real life supervillains apparently who just go online and troll and say, "Oh, you're doing dumb stuff. I'm the so and so." They make names for themselves.
Oh,
too.
really?
It's hilarious, and they're just there to rain on people's parades digitally. But
yeah, I mean, I have a blog. I know. I've had some people say some very hurtful things to me. Yeah.
But they call themselves real life supervillains. It's kind of funny. They don't do anything cool like Rob
Anyone
Banks,
who
so.
calls himself a supervillain is almost certainly not a supervillain.
They don't do anything cool like Rob Banks.
usually say either call themselves supervillains or they tell you their master plan. So that's not too
right?
far out of the profile.
No, but these people are just people who live in there.
I mean, I think what we do, I don't think we're gonna run into that issue because it's everybody tries to say, "Oh, you guys do petty crime. It's not a big deal." What difference are you guys gonna make? I'm like, well, at the end of the day, your department's understaffed, so somebody's got to pick it up.
That's right.
Yeah.
All these New Haven cops leaving. So what else? What other day jobs? What do you got, Mark? What do you do?
So I currently work at an engineering firm out of Brantford. And I was hired initially as a marketing consultant because when I worked for Sabir's company, For Real Productions, that's with a 4, real.productions.
I'm glad somebody's willing to promote your marketing company for you, because you did a poor job with it.
But Sabir mentored me through that company as well, taught me how to do a little bit of graphic design, data management, and through that, at the Grove around the corner is where it operated out of initially. It's not there anymore. I made some contacts, and I worked for a data science company. So I did graphic design, data science for a while. I studied engineering. Through that experience and a bunch of activism experience and not-for-profit boards I used to be on, I gained that job. So as a marketing consultant, so I was doing a lot of marketing management there. And then they promoted me to sales engineer there because I'm an engineering student. So I know the ins and outs of the product we sell.
Nice.
And I respond to inquiries. I don't go out knocking on doors.
Yeah,
but,
I have a friend who's a sales engineer. It sounds horrible, but
I like it.
if you like it, yeah, that's
because
great.
What's difficult about being a sales engineer is engineers are usually very technical with the math and the science, and that's their field. And
that's
not very
what
social.
I am. I don't know if you know.
Hey.
Yeah. The sales part sounds so horrible.
But the sales part is where you need to be more appealing. You need to know how to talk to people. So usually people who do sales don't really have the technical knowledge, and people who do engineering don't have really the HR knowledge that a salesman would have. So a sales engineer needs to have both. Yeah. But I really don't mind that. It keeps me on my toes, and the office is wonderful. So I do that. I also work for a program at the New Haven Courthouse right here at Federal District 1 called Project Youth Court. Shameless plug coming up. So we take in...
It'd be kind of fun if your plugs were full of shame, though. I think. Shameful plug coming up. But, I'm so sorry.
But so we take in cases from both the New Haven PD and New Haven Public Schools, and now Hamden PD as well, and Hamden Public Schools. First-time youth offenders in those school districts or towns. They don't have any offenses up to Class D misdemeanors. So the court is actually run by youth. So it's New Haven Public Schools volunteers and the jury, and then actual lawyers from the courthouse will mentor New Haven Public Schools youth on how to be lawyers and how to do the proceedings of the court. So the client is less anxious, and then the kids get actual legal experience.
That's pretty
They're
sweet.
bringing up evidence, they're making motions, they're doing all the courthouse proceedings.
Nice.
The only adult running that courthouse, the courtroom, is the judge. The judge is an actual judge.
Oh,
and
judge
then,
should also be a kid. That'd be great.
Right?
What a fun court that would be.
Yeah, but no, it's great for the kids. And then we have clients who got in trouble, who got their restorative contract. That's the point of it, to get a restorative contract, not to lock you up. So our cases would go to us instead of the Juvenile Review Board, so that they focus on reviewing what they did, repairing the damage done to the community, or like vandalism, or to the person, the party involved. And they'll get a restorative contract, which usually has community service, or repairing the damage done, or volunteering somewhere. And then they'll actually come back to us and say, hey, I really liked what you guys did here. Can I get involved? Yeah. And then now we have kids who have been here for a few years while they've been in high school as lawyers who used to be clients. Wow. So they got in trouble, got into the legal system, but got a second chance because they got referred to this program instead of the Juvenile Review Board.
I can see the made-for-TV movie coming right now. It's like some kids be singing along. It's gonna be great.
But it's a wonderful process, and it's not just a slap on the wrist. So I do that, and then I also work for the custodial company that Sabir mentioned at night, working cleaning New Haven Public Schools.
Does anybody here not have 4 jobs? Like, what's the situation?
That's the new American dream. You didn't know?
Oh, man.
Yeah, us lazy millennials, you know? So lazy.
Work 5 jobs and live in the same house like Meredith Grey and
What about you, Phil? What do you do?
I make educational content online about music history, music theory, and I also run a company that does contract graphic design work for. We do like album art in the music industry. We make music videos, music documentaries, just general graphic design.
Cool. Do you also have do you want to talk about your YouTube thing or no?
I mean, not really.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
necessarily...
2 worlds that wouldn't mix particularly
that
well.
is fine. Yeah. Cool. What about you, Anonymous? Do you want to discuss your personal life at all or no?
I am a custodian.
He's a custodian. Okay.
Yeah, he works at the same custodial company.
Cool. And Uber Eats. All right.
Oh, yeah, Uber Eats. Dude, that's
and apparently the fastest cyclist in the East. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
Yeah,
nice.
So he'll get your food
Who's
to you.
faster, Anonymous or Sabir?
Oh, I'd say
All around.
It
Sabir.
depends on how much traffic there is.
Oh, we're interesting.
Because
So
I
it depends.
love...
Or if it's Ramadan.
It depends. If you're catching me right before or right after, I have
after
to start
fast.
fasting.
Yeah.
Lots of people stop at red lights, right? I am the one where I see walk signs. I continue to go if I don't see humans passing by.
Okay.
Yeah, he sees walk signs, keeps going.
I don't think anybody heard
Humans
that
aren't going.
because it was on my
Yeah,
phone.
no
But
mic.
basically, he's good at flying through when there's a walk signal. So yeah, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
but if he hits a person every now and then, rule is 10 points for hitting a Yaley.
No, that's
Heck
not
yeah.
the rule. That's not the rule.
Obviously, Gales are worth 20. Don't be ridiculous.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, you lose points for Gateway because those kids are trying to hustle and make it.
Good point, yeah.
The logic you guys have is concerning.
I went to public school. I went to UConn, so I have
the party school.
I guess, yeah. I was
man.
I was in computer science and engineering, so I was doing very little partying.
Do you know what they did when it snowed?
Yeah,
They took all the snow from the parking lot for the basketball court and dumped it in front of the library, so we couldn't use the library. It was amazing.
I mean, I grew up in that neck of the woods, so I mean, those antics are. So, what's everybody's favorite? Do you guys all ride the same style of bike? Like, what's the situation? Like,
It depends on the day.
Yeah, I usually I like riding my Mountain City hybrid bike because
Okay.
it's nice and durable. So if I get hit by a car, my bike will be fine.
Yeah.
But it's still faster than my first bike was a steel mountain bike that I got off Craigslist for $20. Right, it sounds great, right?
the dream, yeah.
But the catch was it could never shift down. So even up hills and
Okay.
whatnot, I was on the highest gear, and that's
Yeah.
how I got thighs thick enough that the Bluetooth signal on the boombox doesn't go through to my phone in my pocket.
Nice. You hear that, ladies? Thick thighs and a
Oh
pretty
my God.
face. So you just email me at josh@teensrocks.com. You let me know what.
Oh God. You're gonna
Listen,
get that
I'm
man in
just here to
trouble.
bring people together, whatever the pretext
You're
is.
gonna get
It's
him
not,
in trouble.
Are you married or in a long-term relationship? I'm sorry.
I'm in a long-term relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize. I didn't mean to blow up.
Sorry,
your-
ladies and guys.
And guys.
Most
yeah.
offers are from guys. So-
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, nothing wrong with that. For me, I'll
2019.
take flattery from anybody. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I mean-
Absolutely. I'm more into the ladies, but hey, I'll never turn down a compliment.
Chris Evans, though. I mean,
Sure,
everybody
yeah.
has the one guy,
Oh, there's more than one. Yeah. But, yeah, sure.
Captain America.
What about everybody else? Phil,
America's
what's
ass.
your bike? I mean, I know you just find bikes on the side of the road,
Yeah.
aka in other
Did you
people's,
find that blue one?
aka
Really? Or did you buy that?
somebody else's backyard.
I just bought my first ever bike that I bought. It's my
Ooh.
second bike that I've been riding all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a road bike, so it's not as agile, but it's pretty
Yeah.
fast. I also previously rode a bike that was stuck in one of the highest gears.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very common problem.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Nice workout.
That's how you get thick thighs, if that's what you're into. Welcome to Josh's Thick Thigh Corner.
Thick with two
Callers, just let us know how you get thick
Pant
thighs.
sizes
you
is
know,
an
we're about.
issue.
C's. Send pictures if you
Lord
want.
knows.
Send pictures. Please do not send pictures. I don't need any more weird spam.
It's great until
Yeah.
your parents tell you, you need to stop biking so much. This is looking weird.
Yeah.
Just the weirdest form of disapproval ever. Like,
I think last year was like the first year I was like, I had to go through pants because my pant size just kept going up.
Yep.
And I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is stupid.
Yeah, do you get
Yeah,
special pants for
same.
having thick ass thighs? Like, because I mean, I don't even think of a thigh measurement when I buy a pair of jeans.
It's less about that. It's more
Yeah.
about getting a fabric that won't wear when you ride.
Exactly.
Because if you don't get
Wear out the crotch
activewear,
and whatnot.
well, yeah, if you don't get activewear material,
Yeah.
the material will wear and you'll just randomly get holes in your clothes and it's
Yeah.
horrible.
I mean,
Yeah.
even the jeans I wear regularly from J. Crew, I have.
Whoa,
like,
J. Crew. Okay, buddy. No need to lord it over everybody.
I got it on sale. They're only like
Whoa.
$20. We had like
Yeah.
coupons and whatnot. I never
Swiss
buy
Tech,
full size.
Swiss Tech is way better. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
But the ones I have are not. So they're good because they go by. Most jeans go by waist and length, right? But they don't go by thigh thickness, so it's like hard to move my knees and whatnot. You have to get
Yeah.
activewear, like Sabir said. Like Uniqlo has really good stretch jeans that
Okay.
are really awesome. So you have to get activewear. Yeah.
Cannondale also makes good pants. But
Cannondale
Okay.
makes pants.
they make rain pants that are
Aren't they
waterproof. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've been.
Well, it's their bicycle pants, so
Yeah,
technically,
obviously,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
they're not just making a fashion line.
But they're
Okay.
amazing.
I need to get some rain pants.
yeah,
It's the dream.
especially
Because I don't usually ride in the rain, but
you better get used to it. It might rain next couple days.
yeah, I
Yeah.
take the bus to the rains. That's it. Plus, I get to hear people on the bus talk about bus problems, which is
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good inspiration for comedy.
Oh, true.
Listen on the bus. People got some fun problems. So I actually just got my first commuter bike recently because I had a couple road bikes and I enjoyed them, but I was kind of like, I don't know, I wanted to like ride upright, and I got a commuter bike and I love it. Like, it's so nice to be able to like, I just feel like so much more chill on it to be like look around, kind of, like I don't know. Road bike just feels so like serious and like it's great for getting somewhere, but it's not necessarily great for just like enjoying your ride. I mean, I in a different way, I guess.
Also, it depends on how you personally modify your bike, but that's
that's a little beyond my scope,
That's up to you.
So, all right, is there anything else you want to talk about before we play some games? Anything you feel that we missed?
Spears always playing games.
This is.
They're not like fun games. They're really just interview question games.
I mean, we legit always play games.
What's your game? I heard Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. That's
I'm a sucker for Star Wars games, especially the old ones.
Our game was like racist jokes against me.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, the Maniacs printer ran out of ink. Sabir's dark. I'm medium. Phillips.
Not medium.
Not medium.
Hell, nice.
White chocolate.
Yeah. I mean, hey, sometimes we go out and grab pizza and it turns into a show. Imagine four people going. Imagine 4 people in body armor going to grab pizza.
Are we the Ninja Turtles now?
Nah.
Nice. Who's
Pizza
Raphael?
dude?
That was my jam.
I don't know who Raphael would be.
Raphael.
We should.
Jesus. Yeah,
we should get bandanas over our eyes.
Yeah, we have another group, but yeah.
Oh, is there another one?
Yeah,
Who's
we
not
have a
here?
few others.
Oh, okay.
But,
so how big of a group do you eventually want to be? Like
Hopefully, we'll hit 10 by August.
10 by August.
yeah.
Nice.
Hopefully, we'll get 10 by. If we get 10 by August, that'll be awesome because it'll help level out the riding schedule.
Okay. Nice.
It's like a legit schedule.
Oh right, yeah, because you like ride Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
I ride anytime I get
Every
off
day.
work.
every day.
Anytime I get off work.
Yeah.
Which kind of is crazy because I work in Hamden, so I'm like,
Do you not have like a
Oh, man.
family you have to like?
this
You
is
are
my
the family.
family.
This is your family.
This is my family.
Aw.
I moved out 5 years ago, so I moved out, got my own apartment like when I was like 21.
Okay.
Mandy Management. If you can get away from them,
Yeah.
run the other
Ooh,
direction,
shade.
all the way the other direction.
I mean,
Shade.
you can't say anything about Mandy Management that a million people have not already said.
I know. Right? It's probably it got like a negative 5-star rating on it.
Yeah,
on Google.
nobody hears it.
I heard
it's
they had
like-
mob ties, but I'll leave that alone.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah, when
I know Joker's Wild used to be mob run.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you're ever curious,
Used
listen
to
to
be?
the. Well, it's closed, so
oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, if it reopened, it'd probably mob run. But yeah, listen to the Joker's Wild episode of the podcast if you ever want to hear about how the mob ran Joker's Wild. It's pretty cool.
Hear
What
that,
is
people?
the-
Tune in.
What does the New Haven mob do? Buy fireworks or something? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, the mob. They
I
make
mean, soon that'll be us, but I'm not gonna say anything.
wow,
Ooh,
nice. Long
no spoilers.
game.
No spoilers.
Long game.
All right, so
Gang,
first game we want to play is called Steal Something. And the way it works is you basically steal something from another city, whether it be the U.S., wherever, that you would love to see in New Haven. So some things we've talked about are like the High
Phillips
Line
stealing
in
bikes.
Brooklyn. Not bikes, you know. You can already steal
Yeah, I
bikes in
can
New
steal
Haven. We
something.
don't
Hold on.
need more bicycle
Yeah,
thieves
God.
here.
Yeah.
We got it covered. New Haven's fine.
Yeah, get out, Philip.
Yeah.
Or like resources and things.
just like anything, like we've mostly been kind of like not like tourist attractions, but just cool features of other cities that you would like be interested in, that you think might work. Like we've talked about, like I don't know if you've ever been to like Burlington, Vermont, but they have like a kind of pedestrian only like main street, so it's like all like cool restaurants just hanging out, and like there's nobody's allowed to like drive through, and it's like it gives a nice chill.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
When you said Burlington, Vermont, I thought you meant weed. Okay, legal
Yeah.
weed.
Yeah, I mean legal weed would be great, sure, but obviously
I don't
our
think we're ready.
politicians are.
We're not ready for that, but
We're ready. Our politicians are not. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty broad support in Connecticut, but
are you
I
gonna
don't want to
do?
get into it anyway.
we'll get legal weed, get extra money, and still misspend it. But
Oh, we'll definitely spend it, but
We'll
at
just-
least it won't be on enforcing stupid
Yeah.
laws. But anyway, I don't want to get all political.
Ooh.
So anyway, got an answer for this? Steal something from
You want to start the beer or?
if we could,
I can go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, anyone's got an
Yeah,
idea.
I
Go for it,
think
Philip.
about urban planning all the time. So
Wow.
Burlington's
All right, hold on.
pedestrian only
You're-
street is cool.
Too cool, maybe.
In Philly, they have the light rails that go down the street with the cars and pedestrians and bikes
Mhm.
and all that, which is pretty cool. New Haven could probably put down like 2 miles of track, definitely.
Yeah, so you could wave at all the peasants driving and biking.
Nice. So like,
Yeah.
like a trolley situation.
It's not really a trolley. It's basically the same size as a bus. It's really quiet.
Mhm.
They have rails embedded in the ground, and the
Mhm.
cars just drive alongside or
Oh.
behind and all that. It's pretty cheap too. I think it's like $1, something like that.
Cool.
Oh yeah, not to build.
no.
But to ride. I was like, it's
to
pretty
build,
cheap.
it is
Yeah.
the cheapest rail system though, because you
Okay.
don't put anything down except just rails on the street.
Right.
You're not putting anything above the street or below it.
As far as I believe that at some point New Haven did have that something like that, but I cannot speak to
I've
that. But a
heard
former
that
guest,
too.
What had a trolley?
some sort of
I've
light
heard
rail.
that,
I don't
yeah.
exactly remember, but some,
Yeah, we did.
some older,
That's what the bus system is based off of, an old trolley system.
yeah.
That's why they had to redo it to numbers, because they also changed the routes and
I think
stuff.
Trish from the 40-Hour Film Project, I think she mentioned having the light rail, but I don't remember. So many guests, so many great times here on the Between Two Rocks podcast, folks. So anybody else got a fun idea you would like to see for another city?
Yeah. So I believe it's from Denmark. And just the layout of the roads they have there. So they have the cars,
Yeah.
and then they have the parked cars, and
Yeah.
then they have the bike lane protected by the parked cars, and then they have the sidewalk.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool, and it encourages a lot of people to use their bikes more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
think that's
actually
really
in
awesome.
I was in Copenhagen very recently, and
Ooh.
it was like biking paradise. Like it was like perfect because like
Wow.
they have bike lanes everywhere, but it's like not like I went to Copenhagen and I went to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam was like, I don't know, has anybody been to Amsterdam? It's
No, one
fucking,
day.
It's insane though. Like because everybody cycles and there's basically no cars downtown and there's no
Wow.
traffic lights. You just have to always be aware that you're gonna get hit by a bike if you're not like looking. You know what I
okay.
mean? Because it's just like it's constant. So it's like it's almost like too much. I was like, holy shit! Like this is like you really can't just like relax and you know what I mean? So it's like
Whoa.
it was interesting. Like Copenhagen was like a kind of a perfect situation where it's like they got the bike lanes, but there's like it's a little more spread out. It's a little like less dense where you just feel like everybody's biking everywhere. And like in Amsterdam, they're like, if you're in the way, they're fucking pissed at you. Like they're not like fucking around. You know what I
wow.
mean? So like Copenhagen's a little more relaxed. So
I
it was
was-
like a bigger.
I always imagine Amsterdam as like really relaxed and chill for probably
Yeah,
obvious
you would
reasons.
think, but it's just like because downtown Amsterdam is like such a big tourist area.
Oh, true.
And
yeah.
then there's like a lot of people who are just like trying to get to work or whatever, and they're like, "Get the fuck out of the way!" And they're like, "Stop!" You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
I get that, but it's like it's intense.
Wow.
Like if you ever get out there, and honestly, you can like Scotch cheap flights. Just sign up for that shit. I think the flight was like $450, so it's not that outrageous.
Maniacs
you know what I
out
mean?
into Copenhagen. Back
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, Copenhagen's a little more expensive. Yeah, Copenhagen's a little.
Or Amsterdam?
Amsterdam is more doable for whatever reason. So get out there and see the world, folks.
We'll bike
It's
to
not that
bike
expensive.
to Copenhagen.
It's pretty expensive.
There you go.
You know.
I think
You'll
we
get
need
there.
we need an indoor cycling track or indoor roller derby in New Haven.
Ooh.
But that's,
Interesting. I feel like somebody was just pitching an indoor cycling track
we need an
over.
indoor cycling. I've heard
heard
about
about that?
talks
Like,
about
over,
it over near Quinnipiac. I've heard about that.
I thought I heard about it over like in like over on like River Street area, like over in like Fairhaven. Like somebody was pitching the idea.
over. Yeah, we're talking about the same area.
Oh, I see. You weren't talking about Quinnipiac University.
No, Quinnipiac
The-
Avenue.
right.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, man, not Hamden. No.
Not Hamden.
We don't give a fuck about Hamden around here. That's not what this is about.
I mean, listen, Hamden keeps the roads clear when it snows. I'm just saying.
yeah.
New Haven, it's like, yeah, the road's not clear. We just have like a 1 inch thick, smooth layer of snow.
Yeah.
Got a
I mean,
little
I'd take the bus
Hamden
and
New
go
Haven
with that.
competition here.
They use it to fill the potholes.
What are you, Anonymous? You got any ideas? Steal something? No? He's going to take a little nap over there? All right.
Strong silent type.
All right, that's cool. So the next game we like to play, last game we're going to play, because I didn't want to play the Fuck, Marry, Kill, because I couldn't think of anything that wouldn't make everybody super uncomfortable. So,
Oh, Samir.
this game is called Mayor for a Day. And basically the way it works is if I gave you $1 million, no strings attached, you have to spend it like on just one thing though. You know what I mean? Like what would you spend it on? You don't have to worry about like alder approval or any of that, oversight. Just like what would you do? $1 million grant or anything. Like we've had some very silly ideas. I pitched a roller coaster over the green, which obviously is not doable with $1 million, but it'd be fun.
Mayor Abdul Sabur.
Wow,
You have the mic?
I'm not running for office. I can't do that.
But I mean, I don't think these are real ideas.
Yeah.
And I would hope that
That's what a lot of
nobody
people
would hold it
say.
against you.
Every joke is based upon a hidden truth,
That was, I'm sorry, but it's just patently false.
depending on who you talk to.
I oh my god, I don't know why this is making me think of it. I was dating this girl, and I was like, I'm done with white girls, and she's like, what? 'Cause she was white, and I was just like, I'm just kidding. She's like, there's truth in every joke. I'm like, there was no truth in that joke. Like, I'm sorry. But it's just like, no. Like, I just...
Gotta get on the chocolate train.
Connecticut is full of... I mean, I like people of all colors. You know what I mean?
All
I'm
flavors.
willing to disappoint people of any ethnic group. It's fine. Like, I don't... I'm not single, ladies, so don't even try. No.
Oh, my gosh.
I know I'm coming off real sexy. But, yeah. So $1 million. Let's get off that idea.
$1 million
Mayor
bucks
for a day. What would you do? Like,
Can we pave every pothole with $1 million?
you could
Boring.
probably, yeah. I mean, it's a boring answer, but it would be,
Just imagine.
Imagine
Just imagine.
Nah,
Just think
too
for a
unrealistic,
second.
man. Too unrealistic.
Okay, you're right.
That's so much
yeah, the
imagination.
roller coaster is one thing.
Mine's-
Potholes,
Can
too
we
Yeah,
pave
steep.
well,
two
man.
potholes
Yeah.
then?
Yeah. You could run New Haven Public Schools for 30 minutes.
Wow. Wow.
Oh man, Sabira's a lot on that.
That sounds like an administrative salary, but
Oh.
but
I was
no.
blaming the teachers. I just want to be clear.
I think with $1 million for New Haven, I
Mhm.
think honestly, I think it would be to increase the wage of the jobs that matter.
Okay.
I feel like police officers and teachers are both very important underpaid professions in
Yeah.
New Haven in particular,
Mm-hmm.
which is why we have a lot of cops leaving, going to other towns, but that's a different
That's
conversation.
a very common problem in America. Just
Um,
urban environments tend to have underpaid public servants.
Well, there's also people say, oh, there's other factors that go into play, like every time bullets go through a bus shelter, how much it costs to replace the bus shelter. When we smash through these signs and we have to replace them, how much it costs for that, and how that screws with the transportation budget and sort of slows improve.
Yeah.
People make all kinds of excuses, but you know what? As a city, that's our job.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can't-
it's complicated because there's like property taxes and all that. Like, it's all, but it doesn't make it like okay.
Yeah.
so
You
it's-
know what I mean?
I mean, and at no point do parents don't go, oh, you broke your phone.
Yeah.
No food for a month. You ate into the food budget. Like,
yeah, right.
I think I know
you
parents like
figure
that.
it out. So it's like that's
all
like
right.
the same idea.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'd
Mark?
definitely go to, and I've definitely seen a lot more initiatives like trying to get started up lately. But I've definitely make more playgrounds and parks
Okay.
because a lot of the very unfortunate gang and youth violence that I've seen in New Haven haven't been in that field youth outreach for a long time in my community activism. I definitely want to give them something to do, somewhere to be, instead of, because when they have nothing to do during the summertime, which is when a lot of stuff goes down,
Yeah.
they're gonna find something. They're gonna start a fight. They're gonna find some beef to start.
Yeah.
But if they're if they have a common place, something in common to go to,
Just
to
something to
hang out.
do to occupy themselves.
I've seen kids in my neighborhood teach each other how to ride bikes and how to fix up bikes and how to when they have a place to do that, because over in Cedar Hill there's a park overlooking Rice Field. There's a playground there, and then there's another basketball court looking over Rice Field too, right by East Rock.
Yeah.
So they hang out there all the time. They're very buddy, and any conflict they have is resolved in their friends group because they have those places that they bonded in. But if they're just getting upset at each other and then going home, that's going to fester. So I feel like a lot of community violence, a lot of disagreements, and a lot of stuff that blows up wouldn't get as big if they had just something in common, some kind of communal area. And you know what? Actually, I would bring back the Q House.
Okay.
That-
Well, they're working on it supposedly. Like it's
I hope
happening.
so.
Yeah.
I really
no.
hope that gains a lot of
I
ground.
think it got funded. I don't know. Like last I heard, they were rebuilding it. So
That's
that
great.
was-
Yeah. So I would definitely focus on like.
And it was a lot more like 250
Just think
million
about how
versus
long
a
it took
million.
for
Just
them-
FYI.
True.
just
What
think
about you?
about how long it took for them to knock it down and how long it might
Oh,
take for
God.
them
Oh,
to
no,
rebuild
yeah,
it.
it's- I wouldn't,
Let's just
Don't
remember.
hold your breath. What about you, Anonymous? You got anything you want to add to this, or
Honestly, I'm not sure.
you're good? All right, that's fine.
What's the Q House?
It's a good community
Oh, yeah, that's
center.
right.
Like
Some of these guys are babies.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't around New Haven, but I'm aware of it just from reading the
It
news.
was a community center that was on Dixwell Avenue across from the Stetson Library.
Okay.
provided a lot of like
recently
after
knocked
school
it down. They're
program. It
trying to-
gives kids an option to like get involved and do shit that maybe keep them out of trouble or whatever. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
all right, well we're about that time. So before we go, anybody want to pitch something, like a website?
Check out maskedmaniax.com. Maniacs with an X.
Mhm.
We'll also be starting back up our own podcast and YouTube station soon.
Do
called
not
the-
check out that. No, don't
called-
even. No, go ahead.
Called the Mini Act series. Basically, what we'll be doing is we'll be talking about just different issues that happen that fall under sort of our parameters of track patrol and cop watch,
Mm-hmm.
and also releasing our own body cam footage of stuff that we see out and about in the city.
Oh shit!
So hold police officers and other citizens accountable for their driving.
Oh boy!
And I
Gotta
definitely
get
want
better at
to
driving.
plug Project Youth Court, which is run right out of the courthouse here at projectyouthcourt.org. That's all in one word. And we do really great work, and we'd love to see less kids just getting straight up locked up. And
let's
really
see
give
more
them a
kid
chance.
judges. You know? Come
Yeah.
on, let's get
Yeah,
started.
what's next? Kid presidents, and yeah, I'd love that.
More
I mean, that
millennial.
would be an improvement. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, we basically have one
we
already.
do. Yeah, that's true. This is basically what it is.
But yeah, so
Okay.
we're all for the community here at Masked Maniacs, and yeah.
I would not like to plug anything. Please don't look me up. Thank you.
Wow.
So in
nice.
absence of him, you can check out For Real Productions at number 4 REAL.productions and
Cool.
check out everything that we do.
And I am hosting a comedy show this upcoming Friday, the 21st, at Art Plus Studio. It is $10, but it does include wine and snacks. I got a few comics from Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut. It should be a good time. Come out. And as always, check out BetweenTwoRocks.com, which I assume you've heard of, and I otherwise have no idea how you found this podcast. Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you guys
Thanks
so
for
much
having
for
us.
talking
Thank you.
about your stuff. And thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time.
Busy people and lots of yellies, Worcester hipsters and fat up townies. We have more than pizza in common, with 2 rocks for bookends. New Haven, New Haven, New Haven, between 2 rocks.